You might know me because I'm the first man on the moon. I was born on August 5th, 1930 in Wapakoneta, Ohio. In 1936, I had my first plane ride on the Tin Goose, a simple single-engine plane. I was having the time of my life. When I was 15 years old, I got my flying license. For jobs, I mowed the lawn at the cemetery and helped bake donuts. This money went into flying license. In 1947, I entered Purdue University and studied aerospace technology. In 1950, I flew warplanes off the USS Essex in the Korean War. I went on 78 missions in the Korean War. In 1956, I married Janet Sharon, and I wanted to be a test pilot, so we moved to California. In 1957, I had a son named Eric, and in 1959, we had a daughter named Karen, who was called Muffy. And in 1961, Muffy fell and hit her head on the sidewalk. And in January of 1962, Muffy died. I never spoke of her to anyone. Some of my friends didn't even know I had a daughter. But do you know what happened after that? I was accepted to the second group of 9 astronauts, and suddenly, me and my family were famous. We moved to El Lago, Texas, near the NASA Space Center in Houston. Oh, and by the way, we had a son named Mark in the spring of 1963. I went through a long training period. For instance, I camped out in the steamy rainforest of Panama because on the return trip, we could crash land anywhere on the globe. Also, in space, there is zero gravity. So I and 8 other astronauts in training went on a plane called the Vomit Comet to experience zero gravity. In 1966, for my first trip into space, I went on the Gemini 8. What happened was we docked with a satellite that was already in space. I described it as a veal smoothie because going into space, everything went perfect. But on the return trip, we tumbled end over end into the Pacific Ocean. We were found okay, but we never went on another trip like that again. Now, the last step before walking on the moon is orbiting the moon, which I did in the Apollo 8. In the January of 1969, I was named commander of the Apollo 11. And when the landing module Eagle landed, I climbed out and looked around. And I could only stay on the moon for 2.5 hours. And then I planted an American flag on the surface of the moon and said, "This is one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind."